projects going, but I want to keep this pretty short today, so I'm going to go through a little junk journal that I made. I actually have started a few junk journals, and I haven't finished. I think I finished one is all, and this would be the second. So in any case, I'll tell you how this came about. I went on a transatlantic cruise with my husband back in the spring, and never done one before, and it ended up with all of our adventuring and everything. It was 23 days on a ship, and so there was a lot of free time at certain points, and I brought myself a little travel art kit, which I don't have together anymore, but I'm going to be preparing one for another trip coming up, so I'm going to show that before we leave, hopefully. In any case, they had some activities on the ship. They had some art things like coloring. They had watercolor classes. They had several choices. It wasn't an art cruise, but they had something for everyone, so that was good. But one day I just decided, I was looking at all of the envelopes and handouts and all sorts of things, the daily newsletter schedule thing they put in your cabin every day. And I thought, man, this is a lot of stuff that I just didn't feel right about throwing away. So here's what I did. I made a little, it's just a simple, it's pink raffia, and I just wrapped it around and tied it. Nothing too crazy there. Okay, so I kept saving a pile of stuff, envelopes and various different things. And then one day it was a sea day. I just spent the entire day in my cabin. We had a veranda, so I could just watch the ocean TV, watch the ocean go by. I had my art kit. I put on some music, and my husband was off doing his thing. He checked in a couple times, but I just spent the entire day, and I decided I was going to make an art journal. So everything in this art journal is something that I got on the ship or in a port, if when we stopped in ports and we'd get off. So every single thing in here is from that. I did not use anything when I got home or anything else. And I want to show you what I took. I took like a water brush, and I have these Peerless watercolors. I don't know, a lot of people have gotten familiar with them now, but at the time I got them, they were pretty new. But they have just the most beautiful colors. And so what I did was I would just cut off, I think I actually took this one. These were Joanne Sharp's palette of colors, but you can see on this one, they're just sheets, and then you activate them with water. So what I would do is I'd just cut off a corner, and I had a water glass. I'd put the little square in, and then I would just add a tiny bit of water in the bottom of the glass. And that is how I did the coloration on this journal. Anyway, those are Peerless watercolors. I got them so many years ago at a scrapbooking conference I went to in Chicago. So that's what I used to color these. And I brought a few markers and some colored pencils, scissors. Anyway, so that's what I had. Okay, so here's my book. This is made out of stuff. So I just cut out words. The ship was a celebrity silhouette. And this says, a hot place where cool people play. So I just cut out words, that I thought would fit together. I doodled after I had colored it. So I used colored pencils. But when you first get on the ship, they give you just a little cheat sheet map with all of the bars and lounges, restaurants, and then the little map. So I tried to use things, you know, make them so they were still accessible. So this is just like a card that they give you. This was the night before we left. We stayed at a hotel in Miami, or sorry, I'm lying, in Fort Lauderdale. This is just, you know, a cutout thing from something. They're always putting things on your bed or in your on your door or whatever. So these are envelopes. These are envelopes from mail that you get when you're on the ship. So that is what the basis of my book is. Okay, and then what I did first was I just watercolored, so you can see where I actually laid down a blue square. After I felt like I got as much of the paint out of the little square in the glass, you know, with the water as I could, I would just take it out and then I'd just lay it on. So I would get some design. So it's like watercolory, and then I went back through and embellished and added just things I cut out. These are not pictures I took. They're pictures that were in like an excursion brochure or something like that. And so I went through, laid out envelopes. I just painted randomly all over those, let them dry. And then I went through the stack of stuff, ephemera, that I had gotten during the cruise up to that point. And I just cut out things that interested me, things that would help me remember the cruise. So I put it in chronological order. Okay, so it starts with our hotel the night before. And then we went to San Juan, Puerto Rico. We went to St. Thomas. And so I just kind of doodled and made notes of where we stay, or, you know, what we did in ports and stuff. Where we ate lunch, tickets for things. They give you a little map when you get off the ship, and I just see, here's what it looks like. Every day you'd get a thing. Okay, San Juan, the port shopping map. That's what this is. And I just cut out the part of it that I wanted. And my original plan was to go back and color this, but I'm not gonna do that because I just don't have time. So I just kept the envelopes, you know, I made it so that they were kind of pretty. I'll never get this stuff back in. Anyway, okay, so I just want to show you the gist of it, is this. Everything is things I saved from our trip. I made notes of where we went. In St. Thomas, we went to St. Martin. I just love this turtle that was on, I want to say this was on like a spa brochure or something. I wrote little notes, and you can see like I left everything visible, like the labels. And these are tiny little flat, I still have some. Let me grab one. They are like little shells. They're so smooth. But they don't have, I don't know, they're like a barnacle or something. But they're super smooth on the bottom, which made it perfect. And you can see a tiny little swirl in there. So I'm not sure what they are. Maybe somebody knows. But anyway, they're perfect for gluing in your junk journal from your vacation. Okay, so just made some notes. I love the sea turtle. I had one shell. At this point in our travels, I love beaches, so we've been to a lot of beaches around. And I used to save shells. Well, I have more shells than I know what to do with. I can't differentiate which shell is from where. There's a few shells that I distinctly remember and can identify. So this is the one shell, and I just used some super tacky, super duper glue and glued that in the other day. This is just stuff I cut out from a brochure, beach. You know, they have formal nights, it's the internet sign-on thing. They have a coffee shop on the ship, so I saved one of my little coffee holders, and in there I put, you know, if you go on a cruise, I think sometimes they give you bracelets, but a lot of times now they just give you these cards. It's like the key to your life while you're on the ship. I cut this out of a brochure for an art auction they had on board, which I don't buy art on a ship or anything, so I don't really buy famous art or expensive art. I buy like people that I like their art. So anyway, I don't know why I'm explaining that. Anyway, I just love that picture. I thought it was super cool. On the ship, they would change the time forward 1 hour every day so that by the time we got across the Atlantic, we would be on the correct time. You know, it's like 10-hour difference or whatever it is, 8 hours maybe. My husband bought a t-shirt and it came with the sticker. The brand is Old Guys Rule. The older I get, the better I was, it says. But anyway, and I don't know, I liked that Lost in Space. I can't remember what that's from. I think they have it was a jewelry, well, they had some jewelry stores on the ship. And then they have a casino, and I just love this little purse, so I just saved this. And what I'm going to do in these spots, I'm going to have some actual photos that I took in here. I'm going to make a little photo album. But this brings me to how did I bind this together? Not having any needle, thread, you know, any way to bind this. But I realized, okay, the envelopes, the flaps are sticky on them, you know, because they're envelopes. So first I figured out how to lay them out, and I licked all the, you know, the envelope as I was going along, and I would use that to stick it to the other one, use them to stick to each other. And then I had these luggage tags that they give you, and I don't know why, some people must pack, you know, a dozen suitcases, so they gave us a whole sheet of these skinny luggage tags, and I only used just a couple. So I had these, but I thought, you know, these are super sticky, and so I used them to bind this together. After I licked a million envelopes and stuck them together, then I used these to bind it together. Just went around. It's not fancy, trust me, as you can see, but in any case, that is what I used for those. Use those for. Okay, so there's that. More notes, more maps, just stuff like that. And then I got, you know, super clever here. I made a secret pocket because, you know, I watch Rosemary Morris and some of those guys. Transit passes, you know, letters, you know, that they give you. So I don't know, I could do it. I had time. So there's that. You know, just letters. I wanted it to be like you could still see what these things were when they started out. Some receipts, and I wanted to remember where I bought this super cute little candle in Sintra, Portugal. Sintra is amazing. Need to go back. So yeah, I really liked that. And then I thought this was funny. I'm going to cover up my name. It's just a thing that says, "We are pleased to confirm your reservation for dinner at the," but I had saved this potato chip bag from, I want to say it's like Bermuda. I don't know where I saved that from. But in any case, I just thought that was funny. So, haha, my little sense of humor. If, you know, it's the French ports of call. We went to all the World War II D-Day sites. And we went to this amazing museum, so I saved that. The 5-4, I just had them left over, and I wanted to use them. They have no significance that I can think of. They had a beautiful spa on the ship. So I cut out some things from their little spa brochure. And just more stuff. And then it ended with our boarding passes to fly home. So that is that. So that is my little cruise junk journal, and I'm happy with how it came out. Never done one before, and I just thought, you know, it's different. I used to, you know, scrapbook a trip like that, but I'm not so much into scrapbooking anymore. And so I just thought, you know, this is my take on a little junk journal that's using only things I got on the ship and that I had with me. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching it. I appreciate it, and I will see you soon. Adios.